Supergirl, the most predictable of disasters by the Critical Drinker channel. Oh gosh. Damn, I hope we are good for it. Oh damn, I don't know what to expect actually.
Dear, it would seem that all is not well in the world of Supergirl, dear viewer. Not only did the movie get crapped on by every YouTuber with a microphone, but in a shocking act of corporate betrayal, even the mainstream shill media turned against it. And those guys will defend practically anything without a Y chromosome on the front cover. The film's last remaining hope was at the box office. I mean, plenty of crap movies have taken a critical mauling and still gone on to make like a shit zillion dollars. Maybe there was a third act redemption waiting for our girl Kara after all.
Well, as expected, but even though it's fun and all, you guys know my opinion about this, right? Even though we all find this fun, all this stuff fun, they will keep producing slop after slop, right?
Well, the numbers are in and the final verdict has been rendered. This movie is an absolute, complete and total stinker. In the past month or so, the opening weekend projections have been revised down more times than a UK economic forecast, and it couldn't even hit that lowest of bars. Not only did it fail to take the #1 spot, but with just 37 million domestic, Supergirl performed even worse than Morbius, which managed 39 million. Damn man, even the Marvels managed to bring in 46 million.
Like what?
Black girl magic!
What is
Make
more?
no mistake, Supergirl isn't just a run-of-the-mill flop or an underperformer, it is a fucking calamity for James Gunn, the DCU, and superhero movies in general. And the thing is, we all told you this was gonna happen. We saw the writing on the wall, we read the signs, and we formed the obvious conclusion that this film had about as much chance of success as an Airbnb in fucking Pripyat. Supergirl might be the most predictable flop in years, but what's important to understand here is why. Because there's already all kinds of bizarre myths and excuses popping up to
Why? Simple. The narrative is more important than the customer money.
explain it. And if you can't be honest about your own mistakes, then you'll never learn from them. And by golly, I want Hollywood to learn from this one. So with that in mind, let us examine a few of them, shall we? Myth number 1 is that Millie Alcock is somehow to blame for all this shit. There's this weird attempt going
Alcock. Reminds me cocaine, but yeah, okay.
on to frame her as a Rachel Zegler type of actor, constantly shooting her mouth off about politics, feminism, disrespecting other actors and shitting on men in general. And the thing is, it's just not true.
I bet her tips are all black and she just spent some money to replace that. So no one will ever know.
Most of this is based around off-the-cuff remarks cherry-picked from much longer interviews that somehow became headline news. I mean, I'm definitely not saying she's perfect or anything, and if we're honest here, casting a relatively unknown 5'2" actress with the body of a child and a face that was always going to be compared unfavourably to her predecessors was a bad move right from the start. It was always going to open her up to criticism, and boy did it come.
She has that face, you know, guys. She has that face. That face of the fentanyl. Yes. The fed face. She's a disciple of the set the centroids of the fent.
But my point is, I don't think Millie Alcock is at fault here on a personal level. She doesn't really seem like a bad person. What she is young, impressionable, naive, and not particularly media savvy. And historically, there's no group of people easier to bait into saying something.
She's proved, and Kenimiti said, she's proved that Neanderthals are still around.
Retarded than young, enthusiastic actresses that have gotten their first taste of fame and attention. Like this infamous red carpet interview where she clearly had a bit too much of the free champagne and was asked about Supergirl's perception as a queer icon.
It wasn't, but in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions, I don't know. I think what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all, if anything. But we'll see. I don't really know. But I don't know. I don't know.
You know nothing. What the hell are you doing? You don't know. You don't know nothing.
Oh, I don't know. She'd probably go both ways.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
You can tell from her awkward, stumbling response that she's trying her best not to offend the interviewer by saying, "What the fuck are you even talking about?"
I agree with that, Justice for the people. In all fairness, she probably has no experience with love. I totally agree with that. I wouldn't say though with other things, but with love, yeah, probably don't. Never, ever in her life.
About, because that would kick off an even worse shitstorm, while instead pivoting the conversation back towards the generic talking points that she's been given.
She's up
doing
here,
exactly
guys,
what every actor on
flexing-
the promo tour
flexing her
tries to do.
commie
She's
side.
just not very good at it. If she'd been a bit less drunk and a bit more experienced, she might have said something like, "It's awesome that the LGBT community have embraced Supergirl like this, and I think that's part of what makes the character so interesting. There's something in her that everyone can identify with, and that's why I'm super excited to be playing her."
Do you guys know that AT, which is written on the microphone, means alien in my country language?
Ever notice how politicians never really answer the questions they're given and instead just reframe them into the things they want to talk about? Well, that's exactly what actors are supposed to do when they're promoting their movie. And honestly, I blame the fucking studio, man. Not just for failing to give her the media training she clearly needed, but for putting idiots like this in front of her in the first place. It's like that Mark Melkin guy. "Would you say this is the gayest superhero ever?" They had to know that questions like this were only ever going to appeal to a tiny percentage of the audience and alienate everyone else, but they did it anyway. They threw Millie Alcock to the wolves with this one, and I think that's a real shame because the fallout from this disaster is probably going to derail her career for years, if not forever. Myth number 2 is that the movie failed because men just
Forever.
can't stand to see women heading up
Poor
superhero
dog.
movies. Again, this is bullshit because how do you explain the success of Wonder Woman?
Is it okay for he to show scenes of movies here? Like, we will not be copyrighted for that. Like, you know, they are annoying piece of shit, so I don't doubt that they will, you know, do that with their critics.
There was no real antagonism around that movie. Men and women both enjoyed it, and it was a critical and commercial hit. Why, you ask? Well, because the protagonist was likeable, feminine, and actually heroic. She wasn't some prickly, aggressive bitch who had to turn every conversation into a battle of wills, or a walking inferiority complex who constantly had to prove herself better than everyone else, or some shitty feminist revenge.
There is no such a thing as fair use on WorkTube, Risk Void, because WorkTube take decisions before the court does. And we obviously not gonna take this to a court because we cannot pay that. You know what I mean? WorkTube sucks.
Fantasy out to punish and humiliate every single man in the movie. Men are perfectly happy to support female-led movies on 3 conditions. 1, they don't shit on men for the crime of simply existing. 2, the female lead is somewhat likable. And 3, they're actually good. Supergirl failed on at least 2 of those conditions. Arguably 3 if you want to be picky. It was a shit film and the protagonist was just plain unlikable. Right from the first trailer, Kara's personality immediately turns you off, man. The writer probably thought it was super empowering and fresh to have a female hero who's messy and crazy and doesn't exist to live up to your expectations. But that's precisely the problem, partly because to outsiders, Kara comes across as lazy, arrogant and self-absorbed, but mostly because you're treating the audience like unwanted baggage that the protagonist has got no time for, like some opponent who has to be defeated or corrected. People couldn't warm to this character because you gave us no reason to like her. In particular, you gave men no reason to like her. See, we've got no sisterly solidarity with female characters. We're not going to support them simply because they exist, so you have to work extra hard if you want to win us over. And win us over you must, because here's another uncomfortable truth for you. When it comes to superhero movies, men are your target audience. You might hate them, you might resent them, but men are who you have to appeal to. It doesn't matter how hard you pander, women are not going to suddenly show up en masse to support your feminist superhero.
I really don't find fun South Park. Like, I really see. I don't know. It's not my thing. I don't know why everyone loves that. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if it's the type of animation. I never liked that.
Hero movie because for the most part it just does not interest them. Men are who you need to appeal to, and you failed big time with Supergirl. Also, there's no getting around this. The writing philosophy behind characters like Kara is like 5 years out of date now. As a culture, we are so fucking over the whole deconstructed hero thing now. It's not cool or edgy or inventive anymore. After more than a decade of this mean-spirited crap, it's become tired, dated, and played out. The very thing it was supposed to be a response to. The lazy comfort zone of hackneyed, cynical, and cowardly writers who are so afraid of doing anything real and authentic they'd rather hide behind irony and self-mockery. Speaking of which, myth number 3. People were just out to hate this movie because they want James Gunn to fail. I mean, as much as I love the idea of this army of embittered Snyder bros working in the shadows to orchestrate one of the biggest media destruction campaigns in history, I think you're investing them with way more power than they actually have. It's the same story with content creators like myself. Yeah, we might get a lot of views at times, but do you really think all the normies out there even know or care what we have to say about Supergirl? Of course they fucking don't. We don't make the news, we just report on it. But on the subject of James Gunn, I think it's fair to say that his creative vision for DC hasn't exactly been a winner so far. Why? Well, 2 reasons. 1, people are simply tired of his shit.
I understood what he did there.
Because the whole deconstructed cynical hero thing that's coming to the end of its cultural arc is literally all he knows how to do. It's woven into the DNA of every movie and TV show he produces, and it's so fucking played out now. And 2, his management of the DC brand makes Kathleen Kennedy look like a model of executive efficiency. I mean, shit man, at least she actually turned a profit before she burned it all to the ground. He hasn't even managed to do that. His weird piecemeal approach to trickling out obscure, disconnected content with no particular structure, plan, or overarching narrative tying it all together just reinforces what most people already knew. James Gunn is a director at heart, not a studio head. He doesn't have the big picture creative vision to manage an entire cinematic universe like
What the fuck is this? This is so fucking ugly.
This, and if anything, he seems to get sidetracked on personal vanity projects like Peacemaker or Creature Commandos, while failing to lay down the building blocks that this franchise desperately needs. They say that a rising tide lifts all boats, and there's no better example of that than the MCU, where even dogshit movies like Black Panther 2 somehow made more than $860 million. DC, on the other
Bring Static Shock. Not Walk-Fied, please.
hand is still waiting for the fucking tide to come in, which means every film
It's something that I would watch if it wasn't idiotified, Walk-Fied by this piece of crap.
they released right now has to stand on its own merits. Any sane man in his position would have brought out the biggest guns in the arsenal. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Give them all their own solo adventures, then have them team up for some epic cinematic event movie. Then and only then can you use that momentum to launch the B-listers like Supergirl, Green Lantern, and fucking Booster Gold. Instead,
DC
Gunn's
needs
DCU is all
AC,
arse about
but
face,
you
trying to
never
open with
should
shit that
have
nobody cares about
separated.
in a market for superhero movies that's rapidly shrinking, and well, the results speak for themselves. All of this is to say that yeah, Supergirl was an entirely predictable failure, but not for the reasons that a lot of people seem to think.
I
It probably
agree
would have
with you,
failed at
Mac
the
and
box
Cheese.
office
I agree
even
with
if it
you,
had been a
totally.
decent movie, but as it turns out, it couldn't even manage to do that. And if this is what the future of DC on film looks like under James Gunn, well, you have to start asking yourself how much longer he'll be around. My guess is not long. Anyway.
Yeah, my guess is they will keep producing slop. This guy will keep being there producing whatever the slop that he's producing. And things will keep going on and on until they brainwash the next upcoming generations that will never ever know what actually is a good movie, a good series, a good anime, or whatever. By the way, don't get me wrong, guys. This shit is getting to the anime as well. It doesn't matter what Japanese have been saying of protecting the content and blah blah blah. This is being inserted in anime, and I haven't noticing that. I mean, I think everyone is noticing that already, right? Like at this point, anime is getting horrible. Every single season passes by. It's getting more and more difficult to find any watchable anime. This is my opinion, at least. It's getting a lot difficult to get attached to these new animes that are being released. This is my opinion, you know. Oh God. So I'm going more and more often searching animes, searching old animes to watch. Old animes that I never watched yet, since there are many. Yeah, because I mean, new animes are really terrible, in my opinion. It's sad because I mean the image is not one of the greatest, neither is the resolution, but everything else is better. Everything else is just better. It's incredible. Really sad, really, really sad. Everything nowadays has better technology, better effects, better, you know, all of this stuff. A huge budget, like a way bigger budget, and even so, everything sucks. Everything sucks. It's so insane. Of course, there are still good anime out there. And I think we were kind of blessed on this season with plenty of them compared to all the others. But yeah, things are not getting good. Not getting good. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, don't forget to just want to remind you guys to join our Discord server. You can do that by hopping on the link below, on the description of this video, or on the link tree that it's on your screen. There are plenty of links there to many more of my socials, including my Ko-Fi, Patreon, and also my Kick platform, so you can hop there as well and give some subs if you want to subscribe or whatever it is. You can also become a Patreon member or, you know, supporting through Ko-Fi. But if you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, and yeah, that's it. Join our Discord server. You find amazing people there. People organize watch parties, movie nights, and game nights as well. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like the people you're gonna meet there. And yeah, that's it. Let's go to the next one. Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, for the incredible support to my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-Tail Fox Tier member, the Holy Ball, and to all of my 3-Tail Fox Tier members, Wallony Wolf, Fanny Sylvie, Eat Himself, Chile Not Serious, Eustace the Useful, Zealous Isaiah, Ala Rosas, Max Tenor, Nugutino, Avery, Halcyonic Eder, and TV8. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone that have been supporting me on Ko-Fi, Kick, and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. And that's it for today, my dear Fox Links. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.